Alright, today we'll be working with an engine mount. So this one is for the 3rd gen Mini. You'll have your 3 cylinders or the full 4-cylinder engines. I wanted to make a video on this one in particular just because this one's actually the worst. Of course, I don't know what's going on with my flashlight today. This one's actually going to be the worst engine mount that I have ever seen on one of these. So a couple of things we're going to be doing is taking out the headlight, the headlamp itself. Some of these parts are destroying themselves. The really big pain of removing a headlight on these 3 cylinders are these screws, because they're actually Loctited in. So if you were to try and loosen this with a power tool or sometimes by hand, this little guy back here that holds those in, let's see if I got one here. These little things. So all it has is like a little metal piece that goes over the nut on the inside, and then when you're trying to loosen those bolts up, the nut inside this guy will spin with it, and it'll start to click, 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 and it won't actually loosen. My little trick on these is I use a 13 millimeter, so it goes right over both the bolts and that metal part that's a holder for the nut. Sorry. Then I actually use the T30 to get them out. So like I said, I'll use that 13 on the back side, and then I'll bring it out. If you do have trouble, you're gonna have a hard time with them. I'm sorry, but I'm warning you now that when it comes to these headlight removals, please use something to hold that back. Like I said, a 13 millimeter, and then we can remove them. I've seen where people also heat the Loctite that's on the back of that bolt, and then kind of just move it slowly out. You never want to go really hard and fast without anything like that. So that's your first warnings on those. I'll show you right now how I get that 13 on. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. .13 millimeter on the back. So that one almost spun on me, but it's hard to bend and whatnot, but like I said, these are not fun. I only take off the 2 up top, one right here, and one right here. You'll have a 10 millimeter right here. So let me remove that. Don't take the headlight all the way out. You can if you'd like, but this one down here is actually a really big pain to get to, especially with that 13 millimeter, or the 13 wrench, or whatever you want to use on the back side. So that's why I'll show you my tricks of doing this. So just let it hang to the side. We'll be working in here. There's a clip right here that holds this wiring in. This is kind of hard doing it one-handed, but I get my little plastic trim piece, or my little trim piece tool, kind of get that wire out of the way. We'll also have one more right here that we can just actually just lift up, but in these circumstances I like to use my tools. This is my second engine mount of the day. These are the very common ones. Hopefully there's some videos out there that kind of show you exactly what to do, but for right now this is kind of the way I do it. As you can tell, that engine mount barely holding on for its life down there. So the AC clips, there's one right here that's out of the way. It's already broken. Same with this one right here. What we're going to be doing is, you can remove the fuel line if you want. I've learned that we don't really have to now. I do remove this little check valve to your fuel tank vent valve, just to get better access at the 3 bolts. Also, I do have an engine mount, or engine jack, or a jack stand underneath the engine right now. The vehicle is up in the air. If you're doing this on the ground, or you have the front jacked up and on jack stands, it's a little bit better so that you have a jack underneath and you're kind of moving the engine up, moving the engine down. But since I do have a lift, this is pretty much the way we're doing it today. So if you have it on jack stands, the front on jack stands, and you have a jack holding up the engine so you can go up and down with the engine, because you're going to need to do it for this job, that's another way at home type stuff. Unless you have a lift, then you can do it this way. So alright, let's work with what we got. So I got my headband on today, finally. Like you've seen in my water pump video, this little long guy with the 10/8 millimeters. Do need to take that off because down this way, where's my lighting at? There we go. Down this way, hopefully you can see it. I don't know how to see with these engine or the headlamp and how they see. But down here we have our 8 millimeter we didn't take off. We do also have a little T12 or T10 right down here will be taken off, just because they do go into, they get in the way, or they need to be removed because they are actually bolted up into the engine mount. So I used the right little pick tool to kind of get that 8 millimeter down here. Unless you got small hands, you and or a 3-cylinder, it's pretty easy to kind of get this little guy off. And we can use our hands to kind of finish it off without dropping it. I put all my stuff up here. It's just an 8 little millimeter. Hopefully you can see that. Then we got another E10 right down this way. So with that E10, I actually use an 8 millimeter. Just a 8 millimeter socket. So mine's a 1/4 inch. So all I gotta do is really just put it on there. Just break it loose. It'll come really. By using an 8 millimeter on this E10, it works in times of pinches. So if you don't have your E sets, sometimes they do convert to millimeters. Oh, it looks like someone's been in here before. That right there. That looks like the engine mount AC clips that we'll be doing here shortly. So there's that little guy. Put it to the side. I use that guy in a bit. You guys will see that one. That's a good one. So that's little AC the line holder really that I just took that E10 out of. I just tuck it back there. It goes away, out of the way. All right, so next thing we're gonna be doing is taking these ones off right here. Those would be E12s. Remember, I do have the engine supported already. Well, you can see, not ideal, but that's what I have right now since our floor jack is, or our floor jack and engine mount, or mounts are being, or jacks are being used up here at the shop. So engine is supported from the ground, engine is up in the air. All right. So what we will do here, break these loose right here. But remember, you better have something underneath the engine holding it up. You can do this on the floor with just a engine, or with a jack, but with these cars that are a little bit shorter, depending on if you have the 2-door hardtop Clubman, 4-door hardtop, it may be a little harder since it is on the ground. So what are those? E12s for the mount to the engine. Take them all out. This mount's going to be in 2 different pieces, which is going to be insane. Then we do have the mount, or the big bolts right here, the transmission or engine mount to body. I use a swivel, so if you have a swivel at home, it's great. It is a E14. And you just go down right here. You may have to play with this little plastic piece that goes right here, but it should sit on there properly. Break it loose before you start using tools. Then you may need to adjust that little plastic piece that's right there. As I said, most people have broken this plastic piece going in and out. That one right there. Then we have one right down here. Hopefully you guys can see that. What you're going to be looking at is the engine. This one right here we already got, and then the one that's right here, that's there. So the E40s, I just go straight down, try and avoid as much pressure on those AC lines. And cool. That's a little tricky, but it comes out. Same with this one down here. Nope. Now this is kind of the hard part. So with your AC clips, they will break off. Some of them will, some of them won't, but most of the time they are broken. So you can just unclip them from hugging the AC lines. This one's going to be a little bit easier for me to remove since the engine mounts pretty much in 2 pieces. So this is where you have the engine mount loose. Lower the engine down. With me, I'm going up with it on the lift, and then we can pull this guy out. So gently, because you got your AC lines over here that are very, very delicate. Be gentle with removing this, and also when you're putting it back in, putting the new one back in. So This is just my way of doing it. Usually we do have to, there we go, remove the AC lines and some other stuff, but this is my fast, quick, simple way of it. Like I said, this is the worst engine mount that I have ever seen in my life. So he was having a lot of vibration under acceleration. I can tell why, because the engine was moving back and forth all around. So take the AC clips off. They're the white ones. I'll show you what the new ones look like here in a sec. Those guys are trash. We will be having to take out these little guys. They are 16s. And then this little clip right here. That one just comes right off. So make sure you put that back on. That little AC line holder that was right here, that little E10, let's use that. So I have my little E10 right here and my electric gun. If you got taps and threads and cool little nifty tools at home, you can rethread them yourselves, but what I do, I use that little guy. Yep. And I will thread my own holes into it, actually, with my electro gun. I don't go all the way in, but just go in, come right out. Same with the two holes, so one right here, and you're gonna have this one right here. These are for the AC clip holders. Oops. And then you're done using that. Swap over to a deep 16. Like I said, I've already done one this morning. So these ones are very gentle. Please do not break these, but only reversing them out. And then you'll put them right back into the spots they're going into the new one. I've seen where people, that's trash now. I've seen where people over tighten these guys into the new engine mounts and they break. And these little things are not, I don't know, we don't really replace them very often, but that's the reason why. They shouldn't be broken, so if you go too tight on these, you're gonna break them. So now to go back in, it's a little bit tricky. So get your wiring on the left side of the engine mount, the AC lines on the right side, and just go in very gently. Watch out for the AC lines so they don't get pinched or anything. Another thing on this side is you're going to be watching for this little plastic piece that was in the way earlier, and then it just sits right in. Perfect. Oh, it sits, everything sits in. We will be replacing a lot of these things. So here's the AC clips. Sorry, I'm just making sure the camera's still rolling. So 2 AC clips. I'll show those in a few. Motor mount to engine, the 3 that go across right here. And the 2 motor mount bolts to the body of the vehicle. So just make sure you see the hole that it goes to down there. Like I say in every video, start everything by hand. Start them by hand. Funny story, one of my first ones back in 2017, my team lead wasn't too happy that I cross-threaded this bolt right here. I cross-threaded that right into the body of the vehicle. With how much room we have on these vehicles, he was not happy. So, start everything. Start them all by hand. That's pretty funny. My coworker just came over and asked if I had any of those black clips for the AC. Apparently he's doing a motor mount right now and his old engine mount didn't have them, and I said, I don't even know if parts can get those. And he even said, ooh, parts can't get it. They don't know where to get them. They don't sell them. Oops. Tighten. I don't know the specs, but pretty good snug on them. Those are a good one to get snug tight. So with those ones in, I do like to get that little 8mm back in, the little one guy right here that goes in that plastic. Since you have the room right now to do so, might as well start it by fingertip. You can only go so far with that little guy until you can't. So my little tools, like I said, I like to hold the back side while I tighten it. Unless you got little hands, you can get down there and do that. But I don't. This one, I don't know the tightness on this one. Sometimes they always vary. Sometimes they get just a little snug, and then sometimes they just know the feeling is right when you tighten it. It doesn't take much force because it screws into plastic. It's that guy. Remember that little E10? You can reach back here, grab that little clip, put it through the two holes first. You kind of have to pinch the two holes together to get it to go all the way through. Yeah. And then it's all the way through. Then you're able to kind of see where it goes into. You already have the bolt or the hole threaded, so you're not fighting it now. Make sure I got my 8mm, like I've been saying. 8mm. You're not gonna really damage the end of the head on that guy because you're not gonna be going super tight. And that's what you'll see in some of my other videos is I use my 8mm on some of these E10s, and it helps in a pinch because mostly all my E-Torxes are 3/8 or 1/2 inch. I really haven't seen any 1/4 inch these small, but I make do with what I have. All right. Alright, everything's set. AC clips. Oh yeah, this right here. Let's get my little handy dandy glass cleaner. I just spray in there, both sides. It helps to lube them up just because they sit right on there, and they kind of, it helps them lube to get back on. So get it seated on those little guys. You'll be able to feel them. And then they clip down. Click. Click. And then you'll feel them push down. Pop, pop. Right there. So everything's really good on that side. The only things we really have left are these three that hold the engine mount to the engine itself. So this is where that jack stand underneath is going to help out. So you're going to be pumping up the engine to meet with the engine mount. There is a little guide hole right here that goes into the engine block, so make sure that's seated properly in there. And then start these ones by hand. It's aluminum, and it will fucking cross thread. Sorry for the language. So bring it down. I bring the engine down I bring the car down a little bit, and then I give the engine a good shake since it's on that below. So it's kind of lining up where it needs to go. A little bit more. Don't want that engine mount to kind of go crooked on me. Then we should all be lined up properly. I think that might go up a little bit. There we go. Just shake that engine while you're turning those screws in. I start with the outer ones so that it's not crooked. There we go. Giving that engine a good shake gets those bolts to go in. All right. Let's see here. All my tools are checked out right now. Where is everything? There it is. Oh, that's that one. Oh no. There we go. I don't know why I got the longest one in the world, but there you are. And the final middle one. Start it by hand. Then we can go down. So we got those all the way down, down, down. All right, this one's a little fun. If you over torque these, you're gonna strip out the engine part. Do not over tighten these ones. I will look up the tighten or the torque specs, but I go until I feel resistance. Go till you feel resistance. I'm not torquing them too hard. People have torqued those too much, and we have to put work into that. That is not fun. And that is about it. So we're gonna put this little guy back in. I don't know if I explained this. This guy, you have to press those and pull off. Same with this side. Push those, pull off of the fuel tank vent valve. Get that back in. Make sure you hear the click. Same with this side. Now we'll go to the engine or the headlight. The not so fun part of this job. So get those old ones off. The new engine, or if you need new ones, comes with new ones. Oh, that wiring. Make sure you put those wires back in where they need to be going. Where'd my light go? Did it just get dimmer in here? So put those wiring back where they need to go. There's that little hole right there for this one. And then that one back there. Get those guys. The ears will line up on the little where they need to be lined up with. Both sides lined up. The 10mm that we took out, it was over here. There we go. Put that one in first. Not really tight. Get the new ones. Push them all the way through until you feel them go through that nut on the other side. Start them. You should be able just to get a couple turns, feel on the back side that they're in there. And then this is where you can use the electric tool to put these back on. Without using the 13 on the back, you are able to just go down. Same on this side. Make sure that it's all the way through. Tight. Tight. 10 millimeter, of course. That's it. Make sure, just double check everything. But that should be it. That's a quick, simple way to doing it. Repair instructions out there are that you have to discharge the AC system, remove the Valvetronic motor, all kinds of stuff. There is a difference between the S and the non-S, the 3-cylinder and the 4 cylinders, but it pretty much is around the same bolts and everything, but a little bit more room. That's gonna be it for this video. I'll probably be making or editing it while I'm in Georgia at the training facility. It's gonna be fun for my masters. But for now, that is it. Hopefully this helps with the engine mount, and good luck.